You want to know what greatness is? Greatness is lonely. It ain't too many people at the top of greatness because greatness hurts. And it's one of the scariest things you will ever do because everybody around you gonna tell you it's impossible for you to achieve it. But I tell them differently. I beg differ. I tell them anything you want to do in life, go do it. When your footsteps are left, how many people will actually want to follow them? My mom was being beaten daily, day in and day out. I used to just hold my mama in her arms as she would bleed. And then I became selfish to feeling what pain really felt like. And I asked my mom one day, I said, Mom, do me a favor. I said, I need a deck of cards. She said, Junior, I don't gamble in my house. I said, Mom, I ain't getting these cards for gambling. I was this skinny kid, 130, 140-pound kid. Couldn't figure it out. Daddy ain't around. 9 times out of 10, never having a meal to eat. That was the sacrifice of selflessness I made. That my mom couldn't feed the whole family. So she used to tell me, can you make it tonight? I said, Mama, I'll make it. I don't have to eat. I will make it. But then I became selfish. And one day she walked in the house and she took a deck of cards and she threw them in my hand. It was one of the last altercations we had with my stepfather. It didn't end well. And then I took these deck of cards and I shuffled them. And I took them. I was so mad about what he had done to me and my mom. And I just threw them on the ground. Pop. Cards just fell everywhere. I took a 6 and I was crying so much, I just started doing 6 push-ups. Jack, Queen, King, I did 10. Ace, I did 25. Joke, I did 50. Then I became selfish. But I want to give you all a message. I became selfish to pain. I told pain I'm dating somebody else. It's called joy. I told pain I got a different way to deal with you. Most people run from you. I'm going to run in the same direction you coming from. And so I took that pain. And after these sit-ups, and I started counting them, and I shuffled them again and did push-ups and sit-ups and push-ups and sit-ups. And at one time in my life, man, I was doing almost 2,500 push-ups and sit-ups a night because I wanted to feel what pain actually felt like. And when you do so many abs, it locks in your stomach to where the only way you can defeat it is breathe. It's the only way. And I said, well, what if I stop? And I stopped. And I laid my head down. As soon as I laid down, I heard my mama say, I got back up, bop, 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 going again. Why? Why? Because I became so selfish to want to chase pain. I promised myself that a man would never put his hands on my mom again. That was my promise. But that selfishness, watch what it done to me in my life. It directed me to understand what the book of Proverbs says, a great name is rather chosen than all of the riches of this earth. And if that's true, hard work is a product of faith. Faith without works is absolutely dead. This ain't got nothing to do with religion. This got everything to do with a foundation of who you are, what you want to be, and who you want to bless on your journey. I became selfish. I had homeboys calling me every day. Man, come play the video game. I can't come over your house. What you doing all day? Man, I'm in my garage doing push-ups and sit-ups. Really? What you doing push-ups and sit-ups for? Because one day I'm going to make it to college. My whole family, I'm the first one to go to college. My entire family. My entire city. My entire county. I'm the first person to ever make it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Don't tell me what God won't do. But then you got to do something too. That's why when you become selfish, watch what happens when you become selfish. High school, I became selfish. Coaches, why you always say yes, sir, no, sir? Why you always say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am? Because my mother taught me something. She said, always respect your elders. I was so poor, though. My uncle walked up to me one day and he saw me. I started losing self-confidence. He said, listen to me. I don't care if you have a penny in your pocket. Make sure you look good and you smell good. And somebody gonna notice you. To this day, I live by that motto. Somebody gonna notice me. I ain't got to say it. I don't have to say nothing. And my confidence comes from my selfishness of what greatness really is.
I played for a youth team called the Fort Myers Rebels, and they blessed me. They took me all over the country to play and expose me to things, expose you to things. And everybody on their team, their parents owned something, and their parents were doctors or lawyers or the chief of police. It was that type of organization. Me and one of my friends were the only African-American kids that was on that team, and it was a very affluent team, and I was ashamed of my mama. Because my mama worked in the hospital. She cleaned up the hospital. She pushed a cart. And I was ashamed of my mama, who sacrificed, who loved me, who protected me, who gave me everything I want to make sure I was best dressed in school. And I had everything that was late that came out. I had it first. I was ashamed of my mama. Because one of my friends in high school, he saw her in a hospital one night pushing a cart, and he came back and he clowned me. He ridiculed me and he mocked me because of my mama. So I made a pledge to myself that I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it may take. I'm not going to do anything illegal. But my mama would never have to work another day of her life. I created this image, this thing that you could imagine. You could love him or hate him, but he was pride. I would pre-rehearse the quotes. I would pre-rehearse the sayings because I knew I had the substance. I knew I had the goods. I knew I had the work ethic, but I needed to secure myself enough that my mama would never have to work another day of her life. So throughout my whole career, I understood there were going to be stones. Because when you make it a difference, it's going to be haters. When you provoking change, it's going to be naysayers. People don't condone what they've never seen. And some of the stuff I tried to do, they had never seen. But when you talked about me, media, guess what? Behind you, I saw my mama. When you wrote about me, when you naysayed me, when you criticized me, I saw right through your papers, right through your TV, and I saw my mama. When you told me what I couldn't do, when you told me what I didn't do, when you told me what I would never be, I saw my mama pushing that cart. When you told me I was too small, I wasn't educated enough, I saw my mama. I don't know if you figured it out by now, but I just gave you prime. I just gave you the formula and who is really standing before you, because I was trick-or-treating and it wasn't even Halloween, because all the things you really thought I was and some of the things you didn't like, you didn't love, you didn't want to accept, I was doing it for my mama.